Hey guys, this is a quick overview for sales just to give you a sense of how this looks. You know, the idea of seeing graphs, finding good graphs, tightening them up to make them presentable so that you can show them. And then when you show them to clients, what to expect coming from those clients. So here we go. I'm just going to walk you through a few. And before I do, let me say this. All sales guys in the system get access to the folder called Website Portfolio Club, right? Because that's the whole thing that you're pitching, our portfolio of these website returns, okay, where we're driving up keyword ranks and the clients who sign on, that creates an income stream for everybody, and that includes sales. Now, there are 88 sites in that group right now, so when you sign up, you'll see that. We're working currently on another 74 in our trial sites section, and as we clear these, they get added into the WPC group, okay? So this thing is an evolving work. Now, that means that sites are going to be added pretty much daily, and they're also going to be removed pretty much daily. Anything that we get rid of or anything we find isn't useful or we can't make a change on their site, it's too hard to go through hundreds of websites and pick through everything. So we have broad strokes. We take them across huge swaths of websites. We work on lots of sites at a time, see which ones we can do good things for and which ones we don't seem to be able to budge really. And if we can't really figure out something to do with it, then we'll toss it. Okay. So we're going to add and remove, add and remove. So it's just going to be a cleansing process. Now, in the process of doing that, we're going to convert a lot of these guys to paying clients. Okay. Sales' job is to make that happen. You're the ones who basically show people who are getting good results from our work in the background, hey, we're getting them good results, and they should sign up here and choose a package for us to continue doing the work to continue promoting them. So let me just give you an example of what money looks like to you in sales. Okay, here's a report. This is a report for one client. The client sells gun mounts that are magnetic. So you can stick them under the desk, you can stick them in the car, you can stick them on a wall. You just put your gun against it magnetically. Very useful tool, especially in bad neighborhoods and for store owners and so on. Okay, so it's an easy way to get to your gun quickly if you need to. Having said that, the guy was about here. Over the course of time, we pushed him up to about here. Okay, if he wants to keep going, he'd keep paying. Now, say the guy wasn't paying at all. It happens to be that this guy's a client already, but say he wasn't. Say it was a prospect. A graph like this is worth how much? Okay, I'll get into the numbers here in a minute, but let me keep going just to show you some other ones. So at the top, we're seeing a graph with a time frame, and down below it, we're seeing a list of keywords and showing what the rank of the keyword is and how much it's changed over that period of time. So keywords that started off low and started to improve over the period of time is what you're seeing. So that's neat because if you see a keyword that's in position 15 now, that used to be 32 placements lower than that, okay? 47. So this guy would have never even thought that he was ranking or could rank for that keyword, but now he's close. He's halfway up the second page going towards the first, and so on. It's also good when you find keywords that land on the front page that weren't there before, even if they're at the bottom. If they were on page 3 and now they're on page 1, I mean, that's exciting, right? Okay, so here you go. That's one of those reports. Let's take a look at another one. We're staring at the graph, increasing graph, and this is for a dentist, okay? For a prospect, and we're just showing you. I mean, literally, they were floating around down here around position 50 for the keywords that we went after. Now they're way up here around like 18. This is prime time to tell them, hey, we can't do any more work for you until you start paying, because we want them to pay to get on the front page, right? We don't want to put them on the front page first. We want them to pay to get on the front page, right? We want them to feel like, ooh, if they got me that far, I really should help them help me get the rest of the way, and we can justify it. It's easier to get people from low to middle than it is to get them from middle to high, because of course once you get up there, that's all the web savvy guys who are pushing harder. It takes more effort to get people all the way at the top than it does to get them primed. But by showing them that we can get them from down here to up here, they believe it, and they should, that we can continue to push them up higher, especially if they put some money back your money into the process of driving them up harder. Then we can focus harder, pick better keywords, give them some feedback on what they can do on their web pages to help it rank quicker, and then we can dive in. We can use more resources and hit the job more seriously. Anyway, yeah, so we've been pushing them up on some keywords, and we want to show them that, and then we want to do a big job, get a lot more keywords into play and push them up. By the way, I've had clients say, hey, how do I get into maps? Or how do I get the leaderboard on the right? Great question. The answer, you get into the maps one keyword at a time, or a few at a time, or a lot at a time, but you do it keyword by keyword, okay? And you get into the leaderboard the same way. So just because you show up in maps for one keyword that has to do with you does not mean you just show up in maps for another keyword that has to do with you. We have to intentionally make sure that we're backlinking you for both keywords, that you're getting Google love for both keywords, so that Google gives you both keywords for the map. So if you're trying to rank for 100 keywords and you only rank for 18, then you should only expect to show up on the map for 18 out of your 100 keywords. That leaves 82 more keywords you want to show up for on the map, right? That your competitors are already showing up for. And you want to push your way up there. Okay, well, the more keywords we can get you to rank for, the more you get into the map on each of them. Same with leaderboard on the right hand side of the page. The more keywords we push you up on, the more you get that association for your leaderboard. Okay, so anyway, there's that idea. Here's another one. Okay, this is a dog park, Doggy Days Northwest. It's a dog park in an area. So they're a small company, right? But still, they weren't ranking for anything. They were down around the average position of 100, basically meaning not to be found anywhere. Top 10 pages of Google, you couldn't find them. Now we got them up to about 40. That's exciting, especially because we're showing the factual keyword combinations are good. These are useful keywords, and they've really gone up a lot in rank. So again, this is all sample, right? This is us just doing a demo, but it's a demo on true proof of what we've done for them without having any access to their site and without focusing on their job, right? Until they put money behind it, we can't focus that hard. But the fact that we can get them from an average position 100 to an average position 40 means we push their keywords up on average 6 pages higher, okay? So we can continue doing the rest. We just need them to hop on a subscription so that we can do that more seriously. Okay, another graph. Use commercial fitness equipment. Guy was floating around position 80, and we got him all the way up to May 1st to this position, about 45. And again, drove up his keywords in the process. Something like this is exciting. You reach out to a guy and let him know, hey, if he can start paying, then we can do a lot. See, the guy's still not being seen. He's at position 45. We want him on position 1, right? We want him as high as we can get him. We want him in the first half of the front page anyway. Like positions 1 through 10 are great. That's like silver. And positions 1 through 5, even 1 through 3 are like golden. Positions 1 through 3, you could even say are platinum. But that's the point. This guy wants up there. So getting him up here, we can do for a demo. By actually making it fully work for him, we need pay to push hard to make that happen. Now, there's another company, and this guy's a public claims adjuster, and in his state, and we did a keywords adjustment right here when we were realizing that we were getting him up, but we said, okay, those aren't as useful as they could be. So we actually made a keywords adjustment for this guy and then pushed harder, and we got him all the way up to here. So again, working someone up the ladder. Now, when companies start off and they really get into this, they're not really ranking, they're starting to rank. How long should they expect to keep pushing to make this happen? 3 months, 6 months, 12 months, 18 months are the ranges normally. In other words, every 3 months you see something happen. You usually go from a bunch of keywords that were lower to a bunch that were higher every 3 months, okay? And for something that's medium competition, it's usually about 6 months to rank, to really rank, to be, number 1, 2, 3 for a lot of keywords. For something that's medium competition, it's usually about a year. For something that's high competition, it's usually about a year and a half. Now, real quick, that doesn't mean that the guy doesn't make any money along the way. When you rank them, we rank them for lots of keywords, and some of these will hit sooner than others. They're low-hanging fruit keywords, the sweet spots. It's where we just have a natural advantage because Google likes the match between that client's web page and that keyword, and that's a natural advantage. So that's good. The guy's going to get rank, and then he'll get traffic, and if he's paying attention to the traffic and making any adjustments on their web pages to really solicit that traffic better, to make sure to get that traffic to convert, then they're going to see a trickle of sales increase. And then with every passing month or two or three, they're going to see a chunk more. That trickle will turn into a stream, will turn into a river, will turn into a thicker flow. One day, hopefully, a tsunami of traffic. Okay? So anyway, all of these reports are about, hey, we did the first chunk of the work for you. If you want us to continue, hop on a subscription and we'll keep going. If you don't, then we really need to show these graphs to your competitors across the street and see if they want to take over because you don't want it. Okay? So that's really it. I mean, we obviously can't just keep doing this for free for every client, right? Clients need to pay for us to get into this in each case and focus on each guy individually and push it. So it makes sense. Now, every one of these guys I showed a report to already reacted totally favorably. And the only one who hasn't really yet just simply probably hasn't even gotten a chance to see the video because it's pretty new. But having said that, here's the point. When they hop on, what should they hop on for and what's it worth? Okay, this is what I call strategy number one, is you send that report, the link to that physical report to a client and you send, well, to a prospect, and you send it to them with a link that says to get on a subscription, click here. To learn more, click here, and they click the link. Takes them to the web page that describes what's going on and gives them the options where they can sign up. Okay, so here's what we do with this laser targeted contacting method. What's that mean? That means that you are showing a particular graph to a person who is right there. You are showing a company their graph, showing this company their graph, that company their graph, this company their graph, right? That's why we call it laser targeted contacting, okay? Because you're showing a graph to a company for whom that graph belongs. Now, with that, let's choose these 5 companies from the list that have good graphs, and that's these 5 we were just going over in order. Okay. Now, what should they pay each month based on their geo keyword reach? Well, if you don't really know, what you do is a little bit of study in the industry to see what they're offering. Obviously, we have 6 different subscription levels that go from low to high, from 125 a month to 1250 a month. And the more competitive the item is and the bigger the reach across the nation, then that's why the cost goes up, right? If it's very niche and very local, low cost. If it's medium competition and average reach across the nation, that's kind of a middle cost. If it's high competition and full scale reach, then yeah, that's a high cost. Okay, so based on that, if I'm walking through these, here's what you'll see. These first guys, they have a very competitive item. There are a lot of competitors. I mean, this is for guns, right? Anyone selling anything for guns, like holsters and mounts, there are lots of people, and they are all fighting to be number one. And they're all trying to sell nationwide, right? It's not local. So this requires backing, a lot of backing, like $1,250 a month for a while to really push up through that and get up onto the front pages, because the competitors are already paying $1,250 a month to be up there and stay up there through their own guys anyway. I mean, nobody's there for free. Okay, now you've got the dentists. Dentists usually expect to pay about $2,500 a month for this kind of work, and they would normally pay 2 of those $1,250s. They would pick up 2 subscriptions, run them side by side, just to go bigger and harder because they're a dentist, and dentists are usually paying about $1,250 or $2,500 a month, even $3,750 a month to just compete. Okay, so there are other guys with money fighting back. We fight extremely well, cheaply, and efficiently, and that's great. But we also have years of catch up to do in months. Why? because the other guys have been doing this for a long time and we got to catch up to them. But if you do pitch a dentist and say it's 2,500 a month, they won't even blink twice. They'll expect that. So that's a normal amount for this graph here, okay, to keep growing it. What about them? Well, it's a dog park in a local area. It's somebody's house. They have a house, a large yard, or field, basically. They have a bunch of dog playground equipment. They got some groomers. They do transportation to bring the dog there and back in the morning, to pick the dog up and return it at night, to each owner in the area. So I'm not sure what they're charging really. Probably something like, I don't know, 150 a month or 250 a month per guy. I don't really know. But something like this, it's very niche. There are not too many competitors. It's local. But the competitors that are there are not lazy. They're actually working at it. We did their competitor analysis, and their competitors are trying. They're spending money. They're focusing on rank. And it's enough for them to not be able to get away with 125 very easily. They should do about 250. But if that's too tough for them, they might be doing 125. So, we have to make a decision call about what we should be offering them. But that's just it. We don't have to tell them how much it costs. We show them a page and allow them to pick from the subscription options based on what they think is best for them. Okay. Now, this used commercial equipment guy, the equipment he sells costs a lot of money. So when guys buy from him, just one ticket sell, one particular kind of equipment, whether it's for the neck or the lumbar, the knee, whatever it is for a piece of equipment, that is going to cost probably $20,000 to $30,000, right? The sell. So there are not many competitors, okay, but they push pretty hard nationwide, as best they can. Having said that, we checked it just how web savvy they seem, and they're not that web savvy. So this guy should be paying kind of high, but not terribly high, because it's not crazy competitive. It looks like it could be, but it's really not. Okay. Public adjuster in a state, so it's statewide. So the guys are looking to get as much business as they can out of an entire state. Okay. So that's going to push his graphs up some. All right. And this guy should be pretty much paying in the middle. He has definite competition. Some of them's web savvy, but it's medium competition, medium area. It's not nationwide. It's not terribly competitive. All right, so just as a really fast review, this high competition, full scale nation should cost about $1,250 a month. This local dentist, but up against intense competition, they won't even look at you twice if it's less than $2,000 a month. So this should be about $2,500 a month. This probably $125 a month or $250 a month for the dog park, and that's about it. Really, just a question of what they want. This used medics, this should probably be up around $1,250 a month because it's nationwide. It's actually worldwide, based on a brand name that the people are competing for who have that brand. So it's enough competition, but it's not terribly many competitors. There are just a handful of competitors. Okay, so it's got huge national reach, and even international reach, but not that many competitors, so not terribly expensive, even though it's a high ticket item. Okay, and then this guy, public adjuster, serving one state, is relative niche, relative region. Okay, so pretty much in the middle. All right, let me come back to this. That means it looks like this. First company should be paying about $1,250 a month. Okay, your cut as a salesperson who onboards them is $312.50 for their first sale. And then because you're getting 25% of their first payment, that's $312.50. 25% of their second payment, that means if and when they make a second payment the next month, because it's on subscription until they cancel. But if they make a second payment that next month, you also get another $312.50 for bringing them on board. And then 10% regular monthly. Okay, so every next month, third month onward that they pay, you get 125 of that. As you can imagine, monies have to move in a lot of directions for doing a lot of work and hosting a lot of assets. There are guys who own servers that need to be paid, guys who own domains that need to be paid, guys who hammer out the SEO that need to be paid, guys who develop the templates that need to be paid, people who make unique imagery that needs to be paid. A lot of checks and balances, all right? So money goes in every direction. Having said that, there you go. So the dentist would be paying about $2,500 a month, so you'd be making about double on that. 625 down for the first payment, then 625 on the second, and then about 250 a month. Okay. Now the dog park, right? That's like 125 if we assume that they're going to start there anyway. Then here's what we decided: $50 minimum, because 50 minimum on the first two payments. So even though it's $1,250, we don't do 25% in this case. We just say $50 minimum. Okay. And then after that, it's $12.50 a month. Okay. Now, this fellow with the used commercial fitness equipment, if he's paying $1,250, then yeah, $312.50 for the first month. If he pays the second month, you get another $312.50. Then after that, you get $125 a month. Okay. This guy here, the public adjuster, would be paying about $500 a month. So you get like $125 for the first payment. And then if he pays again the second month, you get another $125. And then after that, $50 a month. Okay. And ongoing. So that's cool, because your total first month, if you landed those 5 guys yourself, right? And don't even bother. I mean, they're obviously our clients. But you have just as much ability to do this by scouring through the graphs on all those companies we're putting in the system and working to raise. And anytime you can find something of value there, go after them. Okay, we'll show you how on the inside of the system. It's not hard at all. So your total first month in a case like this, which is really, really normal. We have many industries times many metro areas that are large. And so as we get the graphs up, you can reach out and start landing them, right? Your total first month, if you were to land all 5 of those guys, would be $1,425 just from these 5. Your total second month, just wait. If they all pay again at that same level, it's $1,425. And then your total monthly after that, say they paid for the rest of a full year, like 10 months, then you make $562.50 a month, which is $5,625 10 months later, right? On top of these 2 payments. So your total possible first year return from just these 5 clients is as high as $8,475 just from those 5. And for the record, the total minimum you earn if you acquire the clients is $1,425, right? It would be that first month. That's if you acquire them and then they all quit, which they won't. If they do, that's fishy. That's very suspicious. So yeah, there you have it. That's how much value there is in this. Okay. How much work does this laser targeted contact method require from you? Well, about 15 to 20 minutes each. In other words, you go through a bunch of graphs. For the ones you hit that are good, you tighten them up. You decide the beginning period for the graph, the ending period for the graph, what keywords you want to show them. You throw on the right logo by the drop down, and you hit generate report as HTML, and you hit the button, and there's the link. It's just like that. Okay, so if you average it out, probably 15 to 20 minutes of work going through graphs and thinking, you know what, this right here, I'm going to show this right here, claiming that company and generating the graph. And when you claim the company, it creates an email, and you literally attach the graph to the email, and along with your link, that'll auto-populate the email, and you just hit send, and it contacts the company on your behalf to show them what just happened there. Okay. And then you got 3 days for each claim you make that you can talk to that company directly. You can send follow-ups. You can send another note, an update, make some comment about, by the way, if you want to rank a different website, it's perfectly fine. Any website will do. By the way, you're not locked into any particular subscription. You can cancel at any time, and you can switch subscriptions at any time. So by repeating the contact a little bit, build up on that momentum, because that graph that you sent them, if it's exciting to you, you can bet it'll be exciting to them. Nothing's more exciting to a company than finding out that one of those SEO guys out there instead of just saying that they can rank them, actually went out of their way to prove the point by starting the process for free. And then saying, look, I did my part. I did this much work for free. Now, I can't just keep doing this forever. If you want to get onboarded, though, then you know we're the right guys. You can see we're doing is just wash, rinse, repeat. We do it harder, stronger, and then you'll rank. And so choose from the options what you feel fits you best. Okay. If you're timid, start low. You can always raise it later. If you're ready to go ahead and just hit it. If you know what's going on when you see that graph, go for it. Right? The bigger you start, the faster we can go. And that's it. By the way, we're going to put in a first mover's note saying if you start within the first 3 days, then we'll do twice as much work for you the first month. In other words, we'll do double your package size the first month to get you a month ahead. So you'll save 30 days of growth if you start within the first 3 days. By the way, on the inside of the system, when people switch subscriptions, then yes, your amount, the percentages are still the same, but if the subscription amounts that they're paying switch, you are still credited for that, whether they go up or down that ladder, whether they start strong and then go back to more of a maintenance mode standard, or whether they start low and then decide to ramp it up. All those guys doing whatever they want to do, then yeah, you keep getting the collection from that pay for everything that they're doing, which is cool. That way you can just relax and know that your goal is to keep building up your income streams. Let the cards fall where they may. Let them sign up where they feel like signing up. Let them decide whether they're going to raise or lower their subscriptions. Let them naturally do whatever feels best to them in their business so they're excited to stick around. And you'll just simply earn by getting more guys onboarded in the process. Okay? So if it takes you like 15 to 20 minutes each, and you found 5 of these guys in that period of time, talking about like an hour and a half of work. Well, if you spent an hour and a half and you made 1,475 or 1,425 just from that, well, even if they didn't make a second payment at all of them, which again isn't even believable, that means you're making about $950 at least based on the minimum you earn in the case above, right? What's the maximum that you would earn in this case above? Usually, right? Guys just switching or even just staying on their subscriptions if they did that. So then you would divide 8,475 over the year that you'd be earning, that you collect over the year, by an hour and a half, right? And if you include some follow-up time to really help them stay on track and lock in, then imagine 2 hours of work. Well, in that case, you're making over $4,200 an hour is what you're actually earning for the amount of time you put in. So even if you're kind of slow, even if it's not quite second nature to you, or even if you spend more time really finessing the client to help, work up the sale instead of selling it, you just show it to them, then what's that mean? That means you're still making a very large amount of money by the hour, right? Because if you show clients laser targeted graphs for them and you do it over and over again, client after client, okay, then yeah, I mean, you're going to get sales. And these guys that hop on, they're going to stay on because this is all about residuals, okay? Everybody's in a residual process for ongoing work. If they want to rank in February, they got to pay for it. You got to pay for February. If they want to also rank in March, they got to pay for March. If they want to rank in April, they got to pay for April. Why? Because every time they start ranking harder, their competitors are not going to lie down and die. The competitors are going to fight to rank back. Now, we can rank better, harder, stronger, but is there such a thing as the top? Not really, because even when you get to the top on some keywords, you want more keywords to rise as well, and more, and more. So as soon as we get some to the top, we focus on new keywords and keep going. And when we get them to the top, we focus on more keywords and keep going. Anything and everything valuable for the client. Okay, there are literally thousands of words, keywords that apply to every business out there. Okay, some businesses it's fewer. Again, a dog park in a local area is fewer, but their competitors are still going to be out there trying to compete. So our clients still want to compete back. Okay, there you go. That's what makes this business safe and strong for you, especially during these times now that everyone's getting online and now that companies really want to rank hard for when the economy opens in their area. They want to be there. Right? I've had people say, should I wait to start? And the answer is, of course not. You want to climb that ladder now so that when it's time, you're there, you're at the top. You're not just opening the doors and saying, okay, now I'm going to work on my website rank. No, your website rank should be what you work on in advance to be prepared. If you're going to show up at Christmas time, you better start preparing that ramp up in September, 3 months earlier. That way you can be there so that when Christmas hits, you're at the top. Okay, I think you guys get it. There you go. There's this video. We've got a link where you can go and you can sign up. Then you can log into the system. There are training videos on the inside. You can see what's going on. Okay, looking forward to seeing you in there.